The vans move daily, crisscrossing roads more or less traveled. Inside, people sit, handcuffed and shackled.
The van is driving 24/7.
People like Ashley.
So you can't sleep, you can't shower.
To most, they're inmates. To some, they're prey.
I was trying to brush him off because obviously I don't want to piss him off because he's like in control of me.
Ashley wanted us to use her first name only because of what she says happened to her days after she left the Custer County Jail in West Cliff, Colorado in 2016. Inside a van like this one, a van owned by Inmate Services Corporation, or ISC.
I was in the front seat, shackled. The other inmate was in the very back. He was sleeping.
She says somewhere between here and Indiana, an ISC guard sexually assaulted her. She suspected a pattern.
Yeah, I bet there's more, really.
We and our sister station, Care 11 in Minneapolis, have found more, many more women who say they too suffered assaults during ISC transports.
We are not transporting goods. These are human beings in a vulnerable situation.
When a woman we'll name by her initials, T and P, arrived in Delta, Colorado by an ISC van in 2019, she told staff a guard raped her during transport.
There's not really any question whether or not it happened.
Attorney Laura Shower Ives represents the woman. According to this court filing, the guard told her client to comply. Otherwise, it was going to get ugly. During the assault, he held the barrel of his handgun to the woman's cheek.
Being raped is not a part of punishment. Somebody in custody could not be more vulnerable than the people who are being transported under these circumstances.
Delta County paid a flat rate of $1.25 a mile for the trip from Santa Fe, New Mexico to its jail. A subsequent lawsuit calls the private for-profit company the county used a fly-by-night corporation.
They are attempting to do this as fast as possible, as cheap as possible, and they're not taking the basic precautions to ensure people's safety.
She says that led to hiring people like Marquette Johnson. Federal prosecutors believe he sexually assaulted at least 15 women during transports, a number Shower Ives believes would have been larger had her client not consented to a DNA collection when she arrived in Colorado, a move that ultimately led to Johnson's arrest.
Absolutely, my client has saved a number of women from being victimized by this man.
Johnson had a habit of leaving his victims a phone number. We found these two notes passed to two women. After reviewing court filings across the U.S., our investigation has now tied 5 ISC guards to at least 21 alleged sex assaults dating back to 2013.
Nobody's looking, and we need to.
Julie Abate, a former deputy chief with the U.S. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division, says what we found tells her the federal government has failed.
Absolutely, Congress needs to step up. And when no one's looking, staff feel like they can act with impunity to commit crimes against the people they're transporting.
A federal law passed in 2000 should apply here. While lawmakers designed it to set standards for the industry, our investigation discovered enforcement to be non-existent. For example, training requirements.
None of it happened.
Christina Hall used to work for ISC, once based out of West Memphis, Arkansas. She told us when she started, even the background check seemed off.
And they just sent me to a place in Memphis to get my picture taken to make a badge. And I never had fingerprinting done.
Abate calls it an invitation for bad behavior.
It's just when you get into the private transport companies, it seems like nobody's paying attention and knowing what's going on there.
We wanted to get a response from ISC, so my colleague, Care TV reporter A.J. Legault went to the Tennessee home of its owner, Randy Cagle.
I'll leave my card here at the door.
He didn't answer, but not long after he called Legault.
Sir, I need to notify you I'm reporting phone call.
Write this down, record it, whatever you need to do. Come back to my house. I'll show you.
He didn't appear entirely interested in explaining his hiring practices.
When you were warned that he was misbehaving with women in your care, what did you do?
The company's policy states there's zero tolerance for sexual misconduct. In a deposition, Cagle said, quote, "It's real easy for a female to say something happened at any point in time. It's very easy for females." When asked why, he said, because they're female. In July, a judge in New Mexico ordered ISC to pay $3 million in damages, money that has yet to be paid.
They're at the mercy of these people and dependent upon them being decent, and clearly often they are not. They're predatory.
You don't know what it's like till you're in that position.
It's all left people like Ashley to wonder
There's like a fine line there.
if a system charged with looking after people like her is operating much in the same way as the companies themselves, with one big blind spot.
Because it keeps on happening and nobody seems to be taking responsibility.
Chris Vanderveen, 9 News.